Hey everyone, Steve Fernandez with Market Insights. Today I'm going to talk to you about central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. You may have heard about them, you may not have, but it's important that you learn more about them because governments around the world are very interested in CBDCs. 105 countries around the world have had some interest in CBDCs, whether they've already launched a CBDC, they have pilot programs, they're researching, or they're even developing them now. So keep that in mind. And collectively, these countries account for 95% of global GDP. So a huge interest in CBDCs worldwide right now. You need to know a little bit more about what CBDCs are. They're a digital currency that would be a liability of a central bank. Right now, digital money is a liability of a commercial bank. If you go on your bank app or your bank website and look at that digital money, that is a liability of the commercial bank. That means it's exposed to credit risk, liquidity risk, but a CBDC will effectively replace cash. Cash is a liability, and it's the only money that's a liability of, say, the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve issues a CBDC. That is a liability of the Federal Reserve, and that means that there is no credit risk, no liquidity risk, and it's effectively risk-free. So that's good and bad. Obviously, that makes a digital money safe, that's risk-free. But on the flip side, as a consumer, I don't necessarily want to keep my money at a bank because it carries risk, right? That digital money carries risk. So to offset that, banks are going to be forced to beef up the interest that they offer on their deposits. If they don't, credit will dry up. They won't be able to lend money to consumers because no one will want to keep their deposits at the bank. So I expect that yields will go higher on deposit accounts. Could be a good thing if you keep your money in a bank. But as programmable money, there are some privacy concerns that may arise with CBDCs. If code can be embedded in a CBDC, governments can spy on their citizens if they really want to. Here in the US, the Federal Reserve has explicitly stated that if a CBDC was to be issued and it was to be used in the US, it would have to be privacy protected. So take that with a grain of salt, but I can assure you, you're going to hear about privacy in the future when Congress begins floating the CBDC idea around, because the Federal Reserve is not going to act without Congress's approval. Congress is going to have to permit a CBDC first. Regardless of what you think about CBDCs, and the data shows that executives are taking CBDCs a lot more seriously than consumers, that is. In a recent report from The Economist called the Digimentality Report, 150 institutional investors in corporate treasury management respondents answered questions about CBDCs and how they see them playing out in the future. Almost 2/3 of those respondents expect CBDC to replace digital or physical currency in their home country. And keep in mind, this was a survey of countries around the world. 9 out of 10, so 93% of those surveyed, expect that will actually improve the functioning of new financial instruments like digital bonds, digital assets, and that's up from 78% a year ago. And I found this stat surprising. 82% of those respondents expect that CBDCs will actually increase demand for other forms of digital currencies like cryptos and stablecoins. I have heard that, people that want that privacy with digital currency could go to, say, privacy coins in the future. So keep that in mind. That could be interesting that could be an interesting place in the crypto market, privacy coins in the future, so that people can potentially bypass government surveillance. Not saying that that's good, but people are going to do what people are going to do. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So I'm going to end this video with something from you. Do you support CBDCs? Please respond in the comment section. Do you want to see them replace physical money? And what do you see as problematic with CBDCs? And do you see the US adopting them in the future? So answer those questions and we will address them in a future video.